Good morning, everybody. I am Mark Sebastian. I am your only option. I'm the founder and CEO of OptionPit.com, and welcome to the State of the Market. Today, I am joined by the co-founder of TradeToClose.com, the woman who has built a game plan for all of us. She is the one, the only Olivia Vaz. Good morning, Vaz. How are you?
Hello. How are you, Mark?
I'm good. Your mic sounds great.
Finally.
Still really like the new background. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, all right. We have a lot in store for you this morning. So today we're going to talk about how Vaz had a really nice winner in only 30 minutes using strike zones. So we're going to talk about what is a strike zone, and we're going to talk about the two possible zones. And folks that are on our SMS, you received these zones yesterday. So if you're not on SMS, we send goodies all the time. And it's not just you're invited to Option Pit events. It's things like this, sending you the zones so that you can potentially get the same types of trades that in this case, you could have potentially done the same trade that Vaz successfully did in game plan just yesterday. But we're also going to explain how this is not just a rarity, that the last month and likely the next 5 months going forward are going to be something different than the previous 6 months. And then I'm going to ask you to join us tonight. And folks, you can join us tonight right now, as Vaz and I at 7 p.m. Eastern time walk through the entire strategy of the game plan. But this is kind of like a little preview. So Vaz, nice win. And for those of you that don't know Vaz, on top of being the founder and of TradeToClose.com and the woman behind game plan, she has been a Wall Street trader for quite a long time, and what has been a reporter and researcher on financial markets for a good 15 years. She is one of the best chartists I've ever met in my life, and the woman knows her stuff. So, Vaz, thanks for being here.
Thank you guys so much for having me on today. I had to do a follow-up on the state of the market because I understand that some of you that aren't part of my other services were given the game plan from yesterday. So if you did take that trade, congratulations. It was a nice winner. And if you didn't, or even if you did and you have no idea what was going on, this is why I'm here today to kind of walk you through what it is and what went down yesterday.
Yes. So Vaz, let's start with this. We talk about strike zones, strike zones, strike zones. What is a SPY strike zone?
Okay, so, and I'll share my chart in just a little bit, but I want to have you focus on just the idea of what a strike zone is. A strike zone is basically a pocket in the market that's going to go up or down. So think of it as a bullish zone, or a bearish zone. And in those zones, we like to trade options, calls, or puts. So if you're trading a call zone, that's a bullish zone. We're expecting the market to go up through that zone that day. And a put zone is when we're expecting a bearish zone and the market is going to go down through that zone that day. Within those zones, we like to give an option. When we enter it, we buy that option, and then we sell it when it reaches the end of the zone. It's pretty intuitive. It's pretty easy to follow. And now that we have put it in your cranium, let's visualize it now on the charts. So, Mark, let's walk through yesterday's trade.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You want to share Vaz's screen here?
I'm going to share it right meow.
Yeah. So think of these strike zones as a pitch, and what the strike zone and Vaz is the batter. And when that fat pitch enters the zone, that's when Vaz knows to take this to make the cut, and she is going to hit at an even greater rate than Ted Williams. More like 2 Ted Williams is swinging at once from both sides of the plate.
Well, Mark, yes, you could absolutely put it like that. I like your metaphor better. It's way cooler than how I explained it in nerdy trading terms. But what's cool about yesterday, we just had a put zone. So even though the market, and this is the State of the Market show, even though the market is generally consolidating right now and possibly going higher, we saw a high probability zone that the market was going to complete, and we took advantage and traded it. So let's draw out the zone. Okay, so we sent out the zone yesterday, and for those who registered for the SMS, we had the put zone that was 670.60. And by the way, we're looking at SPY. That's the S&P 500 ETF. So it's like the S&P 500, the market is the mothership, and the SPY ETF follows. The entry, let's see, we had a put zone, 670.60. 670.60 to 670.03. 670.03. So because, here we go. So the way that you receive this SMS, or for our members, the email, will give you either a put zone, a call zone, both, and what to trade. So yesterday we had the put zone, 671.60 to 671.03. This is where, in Mark's metaphor, I was batting to round the bases down to 670.03 to complete that target. At the market open, we sent out the email and said, okay, guys, when SPY enters 671.60, you're going to buy the 672 put, because we are in the put zone, right? We're expecting the market to go lower and go through this zone. So where were we? We had to be here. Where was yesterday? Where is yesterday? Okay. Correct, 670, oh, excuse me, 670.60. I'm sorry, 670.60. I was gonna say, like, what? That didn't go through.
Yeah.
The 670.03. Okay. Okay. So here is our put zone from yesterday. I will highlight it to make it even more clear, which is really cool because we do have a live room that has my chart up there. So it's easier to follow along, but it's pretty simple to follow. You draw this on your chart, 670.60 to 670.03. We entered the zone at 9:40, bought the 671 put, and within 30 minutes, we made 16%, which was a nice way to start our day, especially in a tight consolidation week. So in 30 minutes, we entered the trade, it jumped around the zone and completed right when it hit the target at 670.03. And if you held a flyer or a home run, those continued to print, but I got out of it. Some of our members can trade better than me and our strike zones, but it was a great trade to start the day.
Yeah, 16% in 30 minutes. I will take it. So your entry was 60, 70, 60. Your exit was 67.03. You allow your members, you'll give a secondary level where you'll tell your members, hey, here is kind of our home run level where if you want to, if things really continue on where the ultimate target would be, that's your home run level.
Yep.
And this alert, you send this out at the open or beforehand, correct?
That's right. I'll send it anywhere between 9 and 9:30. Sometimes if there's economic data, I like to wait. But it's the point of it, it's a pre-market strategy, and you're looking to have your alert, have your game plan set up, and when the prices trigger, that's when you take the plan. So you know exactly what to do before the trade even happens. It's not like SPY is jumping around like, oh, SPY is looking good now, we're going to get in. We know the levels, we know what to expect, we know what to buy, and we know when to sell during the start of the market, during the day.
Yeah, it's simple. It's easy to follow along. It's only calls and puts, which I like. Now, the question people are going to have in mind, okay, you put some days you put out a put zone, some days you put out a call zone. Do you ever put out both a put zone and a call zone?
Yes, and especially now, we have this something called the September effect, where the market is going to get a lot more participation. I'm sure you guys have noticed that there's the market is definitely feeling a little more jumpy, whether it's to the upside, the downside, and that gives us more opportunities to take more game plans. Because Mark, honestly, sometimes I'll put out, especially during the summer, I'll put out a zone, and if it doesn't hit, we don't take the trade. It's our focus on something else. They're not doing the game plan today. It saves our portfolio and it helps our track record to not get messed up. I'm only looking at high probability opportunities. With the September effect, now that we have a lot of volume, a lot of participation, a lot more volatility, we're getting more zones and more opportunities to trade. So you can get a call zone and a put zone. Sometimes we'll just play the call zone if the put zone doesn't trigger. But during this time, usually if there are two zones, we'll play them both because the market is just giving us so much opportunity.
So in the summer, when things are slower, there's some days where it's the best trade was no trade.
Yeah.
And when there is a trade, when we're in standard zones, if you will, they're going to be really high probability, but there might be a less juice to them, a little less. They might be tighter. The zones themselves will be tighter. Now that we're into what you call the September effect, and we're going to explain, folks, the September effect in much greater detail tonight, and you're going to want to learn all about it. But the basics, basically what you're saying is when we move into September, into October, November, the really busy months in the market, right?
Yeah.
The months where no trader takes vacations. You're seeing a lot more, that provides a lot more market volatility, and your zones get bigger. And because of that market volatility, you can have a call zone and a put zone, and a put zone and a call zone. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes. And what's also interesting about this, like you said, the busy months where the market is turned on full swing, we get wider zones as well. So 670 to 670.03, because we are in a tight consolidation week this week. That's considered a pretty small zone. A standard zone is usually a point. That's usually what we're trading. And then a wider zone, which we're starting to get with the increase in volume and the increase in the busyness, that's going to be a point, like 1.5 points to 2 points. Sometimes we'll even have multiple targets. So expect
Now,
them to be wider.
does the probability of going through the zone change when the zone is wider, or is
No.
a zone a zone a zone?
A zone is a zone is a zone. I do a rigorous back testing process. My mornings, I will sometimes try to sneak to the gym, but directly after, they are focused on putting this through the pipeline of what happens if the market goes this way? How will it change the model? I put in all of these factors in the model to get the highest probability, and I'm aiming for at least a 90% chance that this zone is going to complete. So the wider the zone, it doesn't matter. The probability is still the same.
So the probabilities don't change, but the amount of money you make on the trade increases vastly.
Yeah. And what's really interesting, I was listening to you guys discuss this yesterday. I mean, I don't follow volatility like a hawk, like the option pit team does, but I do follow the prices of options. And I understand that that has a big factor to it. Right now, we are given such an interesting opportunity, Mark, because usually when volatility, or when I say volatility, I mean usually when I'm seeing the market have these big spikes and I see wider zones and a lot more to do during the day, a lot more participation, it can make the option and the price to get into the trade a little more expensive. They are cheap right now. So
They
not
are
only are we
incredibly
getting
cheap.
they are. So not only are we getting wider zones, we can enter these trades really cheap. So it's right now is one of my favorite times to trade.
Yeah,
Obviously, it's going
well,
to change here and there, but this is awesome.
the cheap option thing is not going to change anytime in the near future. And the Vaz's use of 0DTE options for this strategy is really opposite of what most of the market does, selling options. So she is getting these options at such a discount. Really, when we're in these wider zones with how cheap options are, imagine the CEO of Ford woke up one day and the cost of building cars went down by 10%, and the amount that they could charge for cars went up by 15%. How much more money would Ford be making on a daily basis, on a weekly, on a monthly, and on an annualized basis if that happened? I don't know if that analogy is perfect, folks, but that is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing Vaz is getting into these options for cheaper, and the amount of money she's making because the zones are wider has increased.
Mhm.
That and the probabilities, don't change at all. That is a perfect storm of trading, folks. Like that is something we wait our whole lives for to hear, because it is such an opportunity. And folks, here at Option Pit, we call it the September effect. Yesterday's tight zone, despite being a tight strike zone, Vaz brought in 16.67% in 30 minutes. It's like over 0.5% a minute in return. Think about it that way. And what I want to share is the hot streak that Vaz has been on in September. If you want to swap screens here are her September results through the 17th. And during the month of September, if you put $1,000 in each trade, you would have made $6,262. That is an average of 27% per trade. And these zones are only going to get wider. So this is why, and again, we're going to really teach you a lot more about this tonight. And I want you to join us tonight. It's at 7 p.m. Eastern time. It's going to be me and Vaz with a little splash of Andrew to lead things off. So please register and join us. You can click the link in chat. And if you've got any issues signing up, which you shouldn't, you can always call my team, 888-872-3301. Or support at optionpit.com, and they'll help you through the process. And once again, folks, when you're registering for this webinar, you're going to have the option to get SMS updates and SMS texts from us. You're going to want that, because otherwise you're missing out on things like taking advantage of the zone from Monday and making a quick 16.67% in 30 minutes. And that is that. So click the link and join us. Vaz, how we've got another minute, or we got a few minutes here. What are you seeing in the zones today? We're definitely tight today.
We are definitely tight. So the path to the least resistance is up. I have not sent out a game plan zone yet. This is a situation because we gapped higher, and I'm just trying to see how the market is going to react to the no news situation. We are sitting on one of my favorite moving averages, which is the 40 period moving average. This helps me dictate a lot of the market direction. So the fact that we are kind of jumbling around there.
Let's flip back to her screen, please.
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
Well, it's not you.
I'll share it. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Oh, okay, perfect. This purple line on my screen, guys, if you have not added this to your charts, I know some of you are like, why would I look at the 40 because of the 50 versus the 50? As I told you, I have a model that I plug in and back test to the point where I don't even know how it's I don't even know. I'm probably melting the polar ice caps with how much energy I use to put into this. But the 40 period moving average is one of the greatest prognosticators if the market is going to continue a trend or to go lower. As you can see, we've been consolidating for a long time the past week, and we are jumbling right around that 40 period moving average. I want to see if this continues to go lower, a few candles lower, or if we can recover and perhaps give me those few candles higher. When I say candles, I mean these price points on my chart. And that'll help me dictate if we're going to break the high of the day and do a cool rinse to the upside, or we will go down the drain to the downside. Right now, the market is very neutral to me, not just the daily chart, but also the 5-minute. So one of the greatest things about following game plan for me, and I have other services and I have other trades, don't get me wrong, this will help me stay out of a bad trade and let me be patient to get into a high probability trade. So once that model starts pinging and I can find the proper zones, I will trade them accordingly.
We do have a couple questions. Ramdog wants to know if tonight is going to be recorded. Yes, it will. Register and we will send it out to you. To be done wants to know, where can I access the chart? Well, you can access the chart that Vaz is looking at without all the bells and whistles, and certainly no put zones, at TradingView. It's free. Vaz is looking at the 5-minute on SPY. And some of the indicators that she's adding there, the 40 period, you can go in and find. But this chart is just a chart with some moving averages until you overlay those zones. Because I'll tell you, I've been working with Vaz for I mean, we've been at this now for what, 4 years between that whose name shall not be spoken and tradeatclose.com. And I've picked up some, but you got to understand, folks, it's not 15 years because you're not old enough to be at this, but it's going on 15 years of Vaz building her strategy that has ultimately become the game plan. And so that is really what makes a big difference. But Vaz is always willing to help you guys with charting, with understanding things like Fibonacci and, how she sets these zones. So when you're a member of the game plan, which is where you get these strike zones, it's not just, if you want to just trade the zones that Vaz puts out, you are more than welcome to just do that. But if your goal is to apply these game plans, these zones, to your own trading, guess what? Vaz works with you and teaches you. We've got live education with this class every week, live market updates, all kinds of awesome stuff. So you just saw Vaz kind of walk through how she builds this stuff in a couple of minutes. If your goal is to become a chart master, then time with Vaz will will absolutely improve your trading.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, don't miss tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Vaz and I, with a sprinkle of Andrew, will be live with you, and we're going to explain what Vaz just walked through in much greater detail. You'll learn all about what is the September effect and why this is an incredible time to be in the market, and how it's going to hopefully change your life. So, Vaz, thank you so much for spending the time with us and walking us through a little bit about how you build your strike zones and how these plans come together and why this September effect is so important. And so once again, click the link to join us. And when you click that link, if you want those goodies like getting the strike zone for Monday, like we did yesterday, then you've got to sign up for that SMS.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much, Mark, for having me on. I know you guys are a lot of traders out there. This should pique your interest, and I would expect all of you, if you want to be absolute beasts at trading, whether you're a beginner, advanced, or want to add something different, I'd like for you to join us tonight, and I will see you there.
Yes. So for Olivia Voznenko, I am Mark Sebastian. I am your only option. Make sure you join us tonight at 7. I hope you have a great trading day.
Thanks.